Hello and welcome back to Three Skulls Tavern. I'm your host, Matt, and we're back for episode 9 of our Mutant Year Zero campaign. We've just established ourselves in this new base, had a little bit of stuff go on in the base, as you would have watched in our previous episode, and we're possibly heading out into the zone now. So over to you, Ed.
Yes, thanks, Matt. So yes, you've spent sort of a week within the Ark, and you've kind of consolidated and looked at a couple of projects. So I thought what we'll do is we'll just start off by, because you're all in the Ark, very handily, you can all make a roll on the projects that you're involved in. So because it's the cropland that you have, you've already done 2 successes. So all 3 of you can roll either Endure, Know the Zone, or if you don't have either of those, just make a standard roll. With, I guess, probably...
Oh, wow.
Oh. Yeah, that'll do.
All right, it's a good start.
That's 3.
Oh, it looked like 2 were showing for a second there.
It's like, oh, no. So that's another 3 successes. So that's 5 out of your 9. So that's pretty good.
Cool.
And I guess because we'll want to do this, because someone wrongly, well, I guess Matt, you seem to be the default roller here. If you want to roll me a d6, see how many of your arc don't make it.
4.
Okay, so that's not looking good for you guys. So as far as the arc is concerned, it's another 4. Oh, you guys are down to 157 survivors.
All right.
Which is not ideal. So I gave you some XP last session. So if you've got to spend some XP, you can do for anything you would fancy, or anything you think would probably be the most suitable XP expenditure. Matt, is there anything you want to do?
Yeah. There are a couple of things. Okay. I think I might put a point into sneak, because I think I've probably been spending some time sneaking about, trying to do some, well, I don't know if it's very much about sneaking, but I probably was walking on tiptoes a bit as I was trying to see what was going to be happening in this first week with the various gangs and stuff,
Sure.
and trying to lay low and keep, be a wallflower kind of. And I think maybe felt like it's something that I needed to get better at.
Okay.
So maybe got some tips and pointers, maybe from Gia, or some other stalkers who are kind of like the people who are good at doing that sort of thing. So yeah, I want to put a point into sneak, which I don't have any in right now. I just think that's probably going to be, again, something that might become quite useful in future.
Yeah, very helpful, that one.
That's me.
Okay, cool. Paul, anything from you?
I would like to choose a talent of bodyguard.
Okay.
And are there 5?
Yeah, they cost 5 points. Yeah.
And weapon specialist of my bat.
Okay, that's a couple of nice talents. They're general talents, or they something from your
They're general talents.
So the bodyguard is someone shoots and hits at a person's arm's length or near you. You can dive and detect the bullet. That's very noble of you, sir. Doesn't count as an action. You take the hit instead of your friend and push the roll. It's handy. And the other one was the, you say, the weapon specialist, and that's with your bat.
Yes. or like bat and bat adjacent weapons.
Okay, so that just gives you what a bonus to your
A
hit.
+1.
Choose this talent sometimes for each weapon. Especially. Okay, that's kind of handy. Nice. Cool. Yep, that's fine.
Thank you.
And I guess Chris, last but not least, anything you'd like to do?
Just very quickly,
Yes.
Paul, you can go into the items directory, which is on the right hand side. There's like this
Sorry.
to the left of the book icon. It says items directory.
Uh-huh.
If you click on it and go to talents mutant and then talents general, you can just drag and drop those on without having to type them all in.
Right, great. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah.
And you can even, if you right click on the little like speech bubble, and then you can edit them, and you can even rename, like you can change weapon special. Once it's in there, you can rename it to something like weapon specialist, and then bat or something like that.
Great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, sorry. Chris?
You're muted, I think. We can't hear
So
you.
I am. I was muted. Dang it. No, I'm not up to another 5 yet.
Okay, cool. That's that done. So that's all the kind of work we need to do regarding all the bookkeeping and stuff. So last time you spent a bit of time in the Ark. You managed to have a scout around from your bell tower, which you've now claimed as your own den in the actual school. And you've kind of had a bit of a look around the adjoining zones to the one that you're in. And I believe you were kind of quite interested in going to the northeast, where you saw a large lake and a bunch of overgrown ruins, which you thought, there could be something there. I believe that is where you wish to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
How's Albertina settling in?
Okay. Thanks for asking. She says, yes, she's settling in well. It seems that people are obviously very interested. She has a lot of well wishes for her soon-to-be child. Again, because none of you have ever seen an actual honest-to-goodness baby ever, because no one in the Ark has ever been pregnant. That's not for want of trying. It just doesn't seem to ever happen. And so everyone's very fascinated. There's a lot of kind of like, oh, can I touch your belly? That kind of thing. And so a lot of people are kind of make a lot of time for her. And she's very grateful. She wants to help out, do what she can, but people don't let her do anything. And so yes, she's getting on quite well.
All right, that's awesome.
I guess out of everyone, she's probably kind of got a bit of an affinity with you three rather than anybody else. But she's slowly kind of, I guess if you looked at the other gangs, she's probably more in tune with Trixie than anyone else.
Okay.
But she's not kind of like making alliances or anything like that, but she's just kind of, she's happier to hang around her than any of the other gangs.
That's great.
Okay. Right, so, well, I guess without further ado, so how are you going to get to 27? Are you going to go up north or are you going to go east?
Eh,
I don't think in this game you can go diagonal.
Yeah, you can. You can.
You can.
I mean,
okay.
Yep.
You can go
I just
diagonal,
checked. I wasn't sure myself.
I was
On
like,
on page 122, movement on the zone map, it says in the zone you can move from sector to sector. You can move diagonally.
okay, cool.
yeah, the mist doesn't sound too great, but if we can move diagonally, that's not a problem then.
Stay away from this. Yeah, that's.
I mean, it will have to be investigated eventually, I suppose.
I'm gonna leave the mist as it
Does
is.
it? I mean, somebody else can
Does it?
find out if it's another group can find out if it's deadly or not before we.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be us.
That's true. That
Send out juice and the rest of these. Yeah.
Poor juice. You go that way, huh? You'll be fine, I'm sure.
Well, grandma told me to send you there.
Poor old grandma. Yeah, that's fine. You want to do that? That's great. So you kind of leave the schoolhouse and head sort of like northeast. You kind of go down the hill and go into the trees. You go into the tree line, and it doesn't take you it takes you not that long before the tree line kind of turns into sort of marshland. You have to start trudging through some marsh, right on the kind of like corner edge of the zone out there. So you make your way northeast into the next zone. Well, I think this means it's time for your very handy scout / stalker / you know what it is, to make some rolls.
Woohoo!
So if you could indeed make the roll that's necessary. As I
Is it
vaguely
find the
forget.
path?
Find the path, that's the one.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Well, do we want to? I guess the question is, do you want to push that? Because if the more successes
Yeah.
we get, the more
information you'll get.
more information
Sure.
we'll get
You
about
can
the.
find.
Yeah.
You'll probably get an artifact, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
Ooh, ouch.
Da-dum. That's gonna hurt.
Ouch.
Ooh,
we got a
I
second
think I might have
success.
twisted my ankle or something.
But you did get a second success. So that is good. All right. So you kind of make your way in. So you reckon you twisted your ankle? You reckon?
Well, I mean, something that impedes my agility, so that sounds.
It's meant to be.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be an actual injury.
No,
It's meant to be. Isn't it something like?
it could be anything that's sort of in regards to sort of finding your way through that kind of thing. Okay. I'm quite happy with. You basically took a couple of wrong turns while you were going through the find a path. You managed to get back on track, but what's happened is you've managed to kind of catch your boots and stuff in some scrap that's been kind of like hidden in the marshland as you've kind of like headed into that area, which has just caused you to kind of like scrape your feet, that kind of thing. It's not anything like that. It's just slowing you down for the moment until you can kind of get yourself sorted, and then you'll be fine. Congratulations, you've made your way through the path. You've got one success. For every extra success, you can choose one stunt. So this is what you get a choice of. If you remember, you can try and look for an artifact that's in the sector. You can assess the general level of rot in the sector. You can find, or you can have a bit of a search around while you're moving, of bullets. You can attempt to find some grub. You can attempt to find some rot-free water. You can choose to take exploring the zone, taking half the time, or you can rush through the sector in a quarter of the time that it would take to explore it. It's up to you.
I mean, now that we've sort of made ourselves quite comfortable there at the new arc, I think that I'm most interested in artifacts.
Ooh. Okay. Right then. What do you have here? Okay, you have a little look around, and there is indeed one artifact. And that artifact is... Da, da, da. What do you find?
Oh god, there's a laugh. It's like an inflatable bed or something.
Okay, right. As you make your way into sort of like this, there's a lot of overgrown ruins. It looks like the marshland proceeds to go from this area south to the zone that has all the mist in, and it proceeds to sort of like do the same, heading further off to the east in the zone. You've got this very large sort of like lake in the middle. And all the sort of ruins are kind of one or two story buildings. The majority seem to be centered around this lake. There are old bridges that kind of like span the lake. And weirdly, all the ruins of these buildings look very similar, as if someone has decided on purpose to make all the buildings look almost identical.
This is like after they've become ruins?
No. Before they were ruins,
Okay.
They were obviously identical buildings. They
Right.
all have the same color scheme. They all have sort of like this red brick kind of look to them.
Mm-hmm.
None of them were sort of like any of the bigger buildings that you've seen that have kind of like tumbled down. They were all at one stage, one or two story buildings. They all kind of like seem to be facing. If you were in the building, you would naturally walk out of the building onto the lake. All of them have the same sort of like smaller areas off to the back of each one of these little buildings. They're largish buildings. And spaced in between all of these buildings, there are sort of little, what were presumably at some point little parks, with those weird sort of metal poles in them that were obviously used for something way back when. The odd kind of little circular pole in the middle somewhere. Yes, you kind of, as you're walking your way through these buildings, and sort of like these sort of like overgrown ruins, everything's kind of all the overgrowth has actually come from the lake and started to cover all the buildings themselves. So it looks like these sort of like and eventually the buildings themselves have got all the sort of lush vegetation growing out of the roofs, or on the walls. There's lots of like creepers, that kind of thing. And as you're getting closer, you can see that in the lake there is a large boat, which is also covered in more of these creepers and things. And there is a bridge that links from the land to the boat.
Is the boat floating, or is it?
It's not floating. The back is kind of like sunken down into the water.
Okay.
And the actual the front of the boat is sticking up a bit. You can see that it's got this white, or it was white at some point, a white and sort of like orangey, reddy coloured paint scheme, and you can't really see underneath the bottom of the boat, like the back of the boat. Sorry, not the bottom, but the back of the boat, which is underwater. It's got a large building on top of the boat itself, which is where it's like a large glass, or was at one point a large glass building. But that's all kind of like stained, and there's lots of sort of bird poop, and there's like creepers and stuff that have all kind of like grown into sort of like the glass and smashed it, and it's just sitting there like a spectre, in the middle of this large lake. Yeah. So that's what you see in the area, and you're kind of looking around, and you can see that there was at some point a lot of metal work that's now all corroded and sort of like broken, which kind of leads from the land area into the boat. Lots of weird like ropes, metal ropes that have kind of gone into the boat, and that kind of goes into the sort of like the glass and stuff. So something's coming out of it. So that's what you see. And so as you're kind of like wandering around, what you do find is this well, as you're kind of getting closer and closer, you can see that actually where the boat is and these large ropes, these metal ropes come out of it, they lead to this large metal tree that's sort of like stuck in the middle of this these buildings, and the tree is quite high, and it's got all these metal poles leading off of it, and it looks just like a metal tree. And hanging from the tree, there are all these sort of like scraps of what look like cloth and bits of rope, sort of like dangling in the wind. And at the base of the tree, you can see there's what's left of a lot of skeletons. When you kind of like put two and two together, you'd imagine that the skeletons at some point were hanging from the various fluttering ropes and bits of cloth at some point in the past.
Oof. Well, that creeps me out a bit. But we don't see any signs of current human inhabitation.
Nope, not at all. You also don't see any animals or anything sort of like digging in the rubble.
Is that weird? Like, shouldn't that lake be covered in, I don't know, ducks or something?
Yeah, you would naturally assume there'd be some sort of waterfowl of some kind, or they've got zone rats that kind of like live, and you see them scurrying around all over the place in ruins, but you don't see any of that here.
Yeah, that's very strange. I mean, so if something's hostile to people and likes hanging them, that wouldn't deter any birds or creatures or something. And everything likes a lake. You.
I think we should check out this boat.
I really want to check out the boat. I'm super curious about the boat, but
there's bound to be artifacts in there. I mean, that's just, look at it.
Yep.
It's calling to me. We have to go. We have to check it
Yeah,
out.
I absolutely want to check out the boat. But yeah, something's wrong here. Let's just be vigilant.
Okay. Right then.
Is Dara gonna be the voice of reason, or just gonna?
You haven't listened to me yet. It's part of the reason why I took bodyguard.
I did. Yeah, I didn't say anything before, but I was thinking there might be a reason for that one. All right.
Let's go and look in a death trap.
Actually, before we check out the boat, like sort of from a safe distance on the shore, I'd like to, like toss a rock or something into the water, because I think that the absence of geese and stuff is like, and that means that there's a giant sea monster living in that lake that eats everything.
Okay. If there wasn't one before, there is one now.
Beware the watcher on the pleasure lake.
Okay, you throw a bit of rubble or a rock into the lake nearest to you. It makes rather than a splash noise, it makes a kind of like a splop noise, whereas it hits sort of like the kind of vines and stuff that are kind of on everything. So the lake itself is covered in sort of like this mossy kind of viney material. So when you throw the rock in, it doesn't splash like you would expect it to. It kind of makes a plop noise. And then the rock slowly sinks into the water.
Okay. So I guess we might want to take care to not fall in because we might get entangled in vines or something.
That's a fair point.
All right. So did I hear that the metal structure that led to the boat is too rusted to cross?
You can check it out if you want.
Yes, if it's still check outable, I want to check it out. If it's not, like totally obviously fallen half in.
It doesn't look like it's obviously falling in half. It looks like it could be sound.
Well, I've got these nice hoppy legs, I'm sort of thinking that I could totally, if it started to do something stupid, unless I, with my ruined boots, I would get caught in it. I'm totally confident I could do this.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
If you go ahead first to check that it's safe with your cool legs, that means that you can get out of danger really quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it is okay, then Dara and I will come behind you.
It's the plan, yeah.
Yeah? Good. I've just invested a point in move, right? Which means I'm capable. And Dara has 4 arms, so he can swing across like a chimp. Or something.
Okay.
Some primate. Insert appropriate primate.
Okay. Yeah, you go onto the sort of like the bridge, and it seems fairly safe. You have a look around, and there is some sort of like rotten parts, and there's definitely some rusted parts, but it seems fairly safe to you to cross.
I do like a little bouncy test, just think if it'll carry a guy like Dara.
Yep, you bounce up and down. It seems to hold your weight perfectly fine.
That was
if it can hold the weight of this giant sea monster that's obviously scurrying up and down all the time, then it'll take our weight.
Okay, so I cross all the way over onto the boat and wave to the guys to come follow.
Seems perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit weird on the boat because it's kind of listing to the rear, so the whole thing's kind of like moving at an angle, but yeah, you kind of have to, you can hold on and that's fine. Yeah. Who wants to, Matt, you want to go, does Silas want to go off next, or do you want to send Dara up front?
I'm probably way more eager than Dara is. So I imagine as soon as she's waving, I'm like just setting off. If Dara's there with me at the same time, I don't really care. It's just like, okay, it's safe. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you two kind of make your way across the bridge and onto the boat. That's fine. And Dara, you kind of, I guess, reluctantly go after these two.
Yeah, it's a half step as Silas goes off, and it isn't safe, Silas. It's just to ourselves.
You worry too much.
I've got to worry for the pair of us. That's not too much. It's just worrying for two.
Hey, we survived that group of people in the bunker.
It's true enough. It's true enough.
If we could survive that, we can survive whatever's here. I feel like we could survive anything in the zone. With
drowning?
Well, we're not gonna drown, are we? Look at that. The boat's been. This is all happening while we're walking across.
Yep.
Look, that boat's been that boat, there's stuff growing on that boat. I've seen pictures of boats. They don't normally have stuff growing on them like that. That means that this thing has been there for a long time. It's not going to sink all of a sudden just because 3 of us are getting on it. It's fine. Look, this bridge. I'm going to kind of bounce on it as we're going across. This bridge is it looks like it's looks like a piece of shit, but like we might fall through it any minute. But look, it's fine.
As you're jumping up and down, it makes that kind of like ba-doing sound. But
I stop. As soon as that happens, I stop. I stop
but
like bouncing.
It seems to hold you fine.
Okay.
No issues.
I think when it makes that sound, I'll stop for a second. My eyes going wide, looking at Dara, like, okay, good, we're good.
Yeah, and as we continue on, I'll take a fair step over whatever board he was just standing on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It surprisingly holds your weight, and you too also get on board the boat. So all 3 of you on the boat. The boat's a fairly large boat. I mean, it contains sort of like a large, I guess, glass building. Is the best way to describe what it was on the top of the boat.
How much of the glass is still intact?
Probably only about 20 or 30% of the glass is still intact.
Okay. Is there
the
like
rest of it is covered in vines and leaves and stuff? So you have to kind of like, if you want to get into it, you have to kind of like move some of the vines aside.
And were the glass that made up this building, were they in panes that are still there? Like, is there kind of like a metal?
Yeah, there's like a metal framework.
Framework.
Yeah, there's a big metal framework.
Okay.
You can actually walk through. I mean, Dara can walk through the metal framework without any problem.
I'm just not picturing. I'm not really picturing the glass building in my head at all.
So if you imagine sort of like a flat, like a deck of a boat.
Yeah.
And then if you were to put on like an orangery or a
okay, like that big, huh? It's like a
a
commercial greenhouse kind of thing.
Yeah, like a commercial greenhouse. It's on top of the boat.
Okay.
That'd be the best way to describe
it.
But
like boxy?
Yeah, it's boxy, yeah.
Okay.
Is the glass worth salvaging or sending some people who, when we get back to the ark?
Chipped and broken and cracked where it's not. There's maybe 10 panes maybe that you could probably.
So hard to carry too.
But it'd be difficult to carry, and it's just not really kind of. I mean, I say it's not worth the effort, but I mean, if you wanted to do that, we should.
I mean, we can let Juice know that it's there.
Juice, we need you to make a glass run.
Yeah, every shit task.
Oh my god.
No wonder he's on cult.
Can I get you all to please make a rot roll?
Oh dear.
So whatever permanent rot you have, that's how many dice you need to roll. I think you can just click on your permanent rot level and just roll it.
Your normal rot level, I think. Actually.
Your normal rot level.
Do we go up one though first? Because I'm at 0.
Yes, you get 1 point.
So you have to add 1 to your normal rot, and then you click on the rot next to it, I think, or you click on the click on the word rot next to it.
And then make a roll. You just don't want to fail.
You don't want a 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like that.
Dara, congratulations. You've just suffered 1 point of damage to your strength.
Okay, I promise next time I'll have a stunt on exploring. I'll use it to find rot.
And you feel a little bit queasy, but that might be because you're on the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not feeling great. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I mean, that's just sort of being right is never a good feeling anyway, is it?
No.
It's kind of sickening.
Okay.
It's gonna be worth it, though. It's gonna be worth it.
I assume you want to kind of like make your way into this like room that's covered in vines and.
Is it how like light or dark is it in there?
Well, you kind of like you can pull away the vines and stuff, and yeah, you can kind of stick your head in. When you stick your head in, you can see the shafts of light coming through the roof
Okay.
as well. But it's kind of like got the slightly speckly, kind of greeny tint to everything. So everything's kind of got this like wavy kind of water mixed with the mixed with the green of the leaves.
I have a torch in a tinderbox. Just that's why I'm asking if I need
You don't need a torch.
Okay.
In the box.
I mean, maybe we can clear out like sort of one pane's worth of vines so that a bit more light can come in.
I mean, I have a machete too, so start just like.
Oh,
hacking
sweet!
some-
Yes, I was hoping somebody might have one
Yeah,
because I don't.
I can definitely do that very quickly. Just like it's a good idea. Make a bit more light
kind of
inside.
cut through a few. You get some more light. When you do that, the one thing you notice is that as you cut through the vines and stuff, you kind of go into this large room, and there is nothing in front of you where you kind of step in. When you look to your left, which is down towards the back end of the boat, everything that was presumably on the boat has all slid down to the back end. So there's a massive pile of stuff that's all on the bottom part, which is all kind of like sort of in the water. So the water kind of like comes to sort of about 15 foot from where the junk and rubbish and stuff is. So you'd have to like wade into like probably maybe knee-deep water to kind of get to anything that's there. But it's just this large, big, cavernous room, and everything that's been in the room has just slid down to the bottom end of the boat. In fact, you can even see like a staircase going down deeper into the boat on both sides of the boat.
But up near where we are rather than down near the water line?
No, it's kind of down towards the water level.
Okay. So we could imagine that going down one of those would just take us underwater.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, that doesn't sound particularly great. I'm gonna walk down towards the water line.
Okay.
I'm gonna have my machete out just in
Yeah.
case.
That pile of stuff. Does it protrude above the water line to the point where we think that whatever is in said pile hasn't been totally been ruined by being waterlogged?
Yeah, I mean, as you're kind of making your way down there, there's a lot of, I guess, tables and chairs. These are sort of like metal tables and chairs. A lot of them are rusted. Whatever was on the tables and chairs, obviously long gone. And everything is just basically piled up in a pile of all this stuff. So as you're kind of getting closer, you're like, oh right, okay. So yeah, there's definitely stuff that's probably going to be like, a couple of foot underwater somewhere. So there's going to be a lot of waterlogged stuff. The stuff that's on the top has obviously started to rust from the sort of being in the proximity of the actual water, but not actually being in the water. And there's what's left of, you can imagine, bits of leather kind of like dotting around. There's also you see like there's actually a plate, and then there's some cutlery, and then there's a couple of like shattered bits of glass that were probably for some cups or glasses and stuff, and there's cups and there's various other things. They've all kind of slid to the bottom end of the boat, and it's just all piled up, leaning up against presumably the back of the boat, which is presumably more glass.
Yeah, what a magical bounty.
You're like, oh.
I mean, I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna poke around this stuff that isn't submerged, and I'm gonna kind of say before I go down there, I'll say to the other two as well. There's gotta be something in here. I mean,
I'm sort of inclined, if the water is not too wide, rather than wade through it, I'd like to jump over it and maybe land on one of those tables.
Yeah, you can try and jump onto the rubbish. That's fine.
This doesn't seem a good man.
Yeah, this
Okay.
isn't like a very stable thing to jump on. It's gonna shift under your weight probably. But yeah, we'll see. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Indeed,
Yeah.
you jump and land onto the onto it. Can you please, for me, make a move roll?
Well, couldn't I spend a mutation point on using the frog legs?
Yeah.
The jumping is not a problem; it's the landing
Ah, gotcha.
without causing everything to.
Well, now I
Crash or
wish I
move
hadn't
or-
damaged my agility just now. You know, like that.
I mean, you could push it to get a success.
You could push it if you want to, but
I mean, if I push it now, I'll be. I mean, no, I'll push it. I'll be crippled on the way back to Cass.
Oh, God.
Well, you're down to 1
Right.
agility now from 5.
okay.
Oh,
So
God.
you jump, clearing without any problem the water, landing onto the sort of like table and chairs and all the other stuff. You land with a almighty thud on the other side, and you're like, "That's all right." You hear a cracking noise, and then everything collapses as you, the table, the chairs, the various assorted clutter that's kind of like over the years kind of built up in there, as you all fall through the actual glass on the other side.
Ah!
And you and all the other gear, well, all the tables and chairs, and all the other stuff, fall into the lake.
Serves me right.
With a sploshing, splashing noise, which is preceded by a shattering noise of all what was a very precarious bit of glass holding everything up. Yes, everything starts to go into the back of the boat and then goes smashing into the water, and all of a sudden you're sort of like chest deep. It's not that deep, but chest deep in all the kit and all the kind of like tables and all the plates and cutlery and everything else, and anything that can vaguely float is sort of like at your chest height, as you're like now in the mossy kind of viney like lake the ship is in. Obviously you can now see her like in this sort of like horrible nasty thing. Chris,
Yes.
can you please make me another rock roll
Yes.
You gotta add one first too, right?
and add one to it?
I would, under all other circumstances, I would be mortified, but you know, just like after the tension of the last week, I think this is the silly situation. I just sit in the muck and laugh. There
You
goes.
should be you should be rolling 2 dice,
You
not
should have
just
two
the
dice.
one.
I did put it up to 2. I don't know why.
Which button did you? I was kind of curious how this is set up. Which button did you push to
Oh,
roll?
rot.
The word rot.
Yeah.
The word rot.
Can you try clicking
Yeah.
on the I guess click
clicked on it.
click
And the biohazard.
on the biohazard symbol.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah, it
that's
says
up
base
to-
2.
Yeah. So the base two. So I think we have to click on the yellow thing, not the word rot, actually.
Okay. So, okay, that's fine. We'll go with the second roll. Okay, that's
There's
fine.
gonna be a lot of rot rolls before we're out of the zone, I think.
I think so. Okay, yeah, so you're just covered in all this kind of like nasty, gloopy, horrible stuff. As you're like there, you can actually see there's like this film of sort of like oily residue that's also kind of like clinging to your top and stuff. The rest, you two are just kind of like looking at it. I was like, what on earth is happening?
Gia, why did you jump on? Oh.
I just laugh.
Did you find anything in there? Hey, while you're down there, see if you can have a feel around and see if you can find anything.
I hold up a fork.
Handily, as you do that, something pops up next to you. It's a box. It's like a sealed box that sort of like floats the surface, and then is quite buoyant. It's about the same size as a book, but quite thick. And it's got a couple of latches on. It looks like some kind of suitcase or some kind of like little bag box thing.
Ooh. I totally
Grab
grab
that!
it.
Grab that!
Okay.
And then I'll turn to Dara and say, with a big smile on my face, I knew it.
See?
I knew it. There's got to be something amazing inside of that.
Yeah. Rust.
Oh, you're such a spoilsport.
Gia, you feel something slide past your leg.
Ooh. Right. How can I best extricate myself from that lake slash mire? Can I hop or climb back onto the boat?
You can do, yeah. You just kind of like make your way back up the deck area to Silas and to Dara. Looking back, as something has obviously slipped past your leg, like a long tendril, kind of like tentacle-y thing.
I think there's fish in there. Eels, maybe.
It probably was quite a large eel, yeah.
Probably.
Surely. What else would it be?
Yeah, you come out. Holding this box.
Right on. I sort of wave to the guys to gather round, and I'm like, let's open it.
Is there like any residue on Gia? What does she smell like?
She smells not well. Well, it's kind of like a muddy, silty kind of smell.
Like pond scum, like really nasty pond scum,
like nasty pond scum that you get from like marshland and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
where
stuff has died in there.
But not like oil or gas or something.
And then there's this thin line of this like kind of iridescent kind of oily stuff that's kind of like got a line across her chest where she's kind of been wandering. That doesn't smell of anything. It just looks all kind of like oily and nasty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm kind of like a bit like but at the same time like ooh. Here, can I open it?
Let's open it together.
Okay, you open it. It's fine. But I'm leaning in close, despite the strange smell.
Okay.
So does it have sort of like briefcasey clasps?
It does. It's got like one big briefcasey clasp at the front, where the handle would be, but the handle is no longer there.
Okay. So I think I know how those work, or I mean, I fiddle with it for a while.
Yeah. You kind of like you fiddle with it a while, and eventually it goes makes a click noise.
A bullet says it's worthless.
And
You're on.
Yeah, you open it up. In these kind of like handy little like divots in this sort of like spongy material. There is like a fist-size item with a tube on one end. Along the side, there's sort of like lots of buttons, a small screen that can kind of like a piece of glassy small screen that can fold out and down.
Mm-hmm. Can I use I have a talent called Gadgeteer, which is my actually I think it might be a general talent. I get a +2 modification when I try to comprehend an artifact from the old age.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be great.
See if I know what it is.
I lift the thing from the foamy material and turn it over and puzzled hold it out to Silas.
Well, look at that.
Let me just have a quick look. Do I need to? If I get more successes, does that help here? Have a quick look. Comprehend stunts. Okay, for every success rolled beyond the first, you can teach someone else how to use the artifact. I'm not going to push that roll then. That's fine.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, you do know what it is. You are aware of what it does. You've never seen it actually work, but apparently, back in the old days, this used to capture moving images. You know that it probably would need some kind of power to allow it to work. And there is a little kind of you know that when you look at it, inside the side of it, there is a little disc or something, which means that whatever's in there has got something recorded on it. But you can't even get the disc out unless you get the power in to kind of then open it up and let the disc come out. You can just make out the edge of the disc through the little piece of glass that's on the side.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh.
Do you know what
This.
it is? Do you know what it is?
I do know it is. I do. You know, we have lots of books and things with pictures of the time before. This, I'm gonna look Dara right in the eye and say, this can capture images. This is a big find. Definitely worth a bullet of your good money, sir.
Make it work, Silas.
Make it work.
Prove it.
Well, I can't, can I? Because it needs something called electricity, which you get from something called batteries, which I've been looking for a long time. But we had some in the old Ark, but I don't. If we have any left, they're with Fink, and you know what I think about Fink.
As you're looking through it, you can also see that there is a plastic cord, which you reckon could fit into the side of this this device.
A plastic what?
And there is also
A plastic what? Sorry.
Or
plastic cord, which you could sit on the side of the device, which you reckon you need to attach to something that would generate electricity to allow you to use it. You'd then be able to charge up the item and use it.
Oh, you mean like a cable?
Like a cable, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There is also on the inside, as you look on the sponge, there is some other there's some bits of paper, and inside the bits of paper there's you can read, and you know that this is instruction guide, which you'd have to kind of like decipher, but yeah, you generally have got that. And then on one of the pieces of paper, it has a very familiar looking symbol, which you'd seen on the key card.
The Eden symbol.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the chances of that?
wowza.
Okay, when I see that, I'm gonna again turn slowly to Dara and be like, I'm gonna pull out the ID card. And I'm gonna say, this is Eden. This word here on this card says Eden. You know we've been talking about Eden for our entire lives. This symbol means Eden. That symbol is on that camera. It's called a camera. And I don't know if it's a movie camera or if it's a picture camera, but it's a camera. And look, see here, Gia, do you mind if I take it out? Is it okay? Since you technically found it, it's
That's yeah, sure.
But possession is 9/10 of the law. And I'll show you the little disc thing. It's got something inside. There might be pictures on this from the old time. This could change everything. Or maybe it's just pictures of somebody's feet or something. I don't know. There's only one way to find out. We gotta. Well, I don't know, but we'll figure it out.
So, what are you saying, Silas? That
I'm saying this is very useful.
Yeah, you got a card doors that we don't know.
I'll flick you a bullet and say, like, this is bigger than bullets. This is I'm sure this isn't. It's got Eden on the side of it. Come on, this is gonna be big.
Yeah.
We just gotta figure out how to use it.
All I'm looking at is a box that might as well contain a blind old woman who sends people mad.
It's at that point you hear the sound of a doing from the bridge from outside.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
How far are we from the bridge? Is it in like? Can we see what's there, or
No, because you're like right at the bottom of the far end of the boat.
Inside this, inside the overgrown glass box.
Yeah, so you can't see out apart from the bits of light that you've made. But obviously, you're not where you've made the light. So.
Is there a? I was like, we gotta hide.
Yeah, put it back into the
open box area.
Yeah, but look, there's tables. We can like upend a table, and just kind of like crouch behind it.
Oh, is a bad plan any better than no plan? Yeah, let's table.
Definitely put it back inside the box.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that kept it nice and dry all these years.
Oh yeah,
that's an awesome box. I think I want the box more than anything.
Can one of you carry it? Because I'm not. Yeah.
Give me the worthless box.
If you want to upend some tables, you can do, and hide behind them. That's fine. If you want to do it swiftly without making a noise, you can make a move. Yeah.
I'm sort of wondering if we should hide ourselves. I mean, if we should sort of, like prepare an ambush or something.
So where you are currently is in this very large, open, flat room, which obviously has vines and glass around. Apart from the water that's on your end, where you are now, that's sort of like, chest deep if you go right to the end and go through the glass now, or it's sort of like knee deep if you are sort of like where all the junk is. So presumably you want to take one of the tables, open-end it so that it's facing the front's facing towards whoever's going to come in, and you're going to hide behind a couple of these tables.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we could shoot out from behind that if something hostile came in.
Sure.
It's metal, right? So if it's, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Dara, what do you think? You're the warrior.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking if it's, we don't know who's coming, and they don't necessarily know that. I mean, they could have been watching us, I guess, and be following. But if they don't, then I don't know.
I think hiding's a good plan.
All right.
I mean, there is a way out. You could go through the junk outside onto the back end of the boat, and then you'd be able to.
Oh, through one of the windows, like just off to the
through
side.
one of the windows, but you'd end up being sort of like chest deep in the water. Or alternatively, I'm just saying it's an option.
Or we just stroll out, and I pull out zipper. And we bullshit our way past, assuming there's somebody who can actually talk to us and it's not some like monster thing. Oh shit, this could be bad.
I mean, it's bright daylight. It's not going to be a ghoul, at least.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Sure.
There's all sorts of beasties. All right, I guess we're gonna find out soon. Are we gonna hide then? I've got zipper out.
Okay.
I've got that scrap rifle.
I've got a box.
I'm not sure Dara should be the one. I'm gonna take the box. I'm assuming it weighs like one normal unit, right?
Yeah, it's one normal unit. It doesn't require much to.
I'll be like, Dara, you're not. Give that to me. You're not showing it the respect it requires. And I'll add that.
Yeah, now I have to remove my artifact of worthless box with worthless camera inside.
Okay.
Okay. I want to position myself to one side of the entrance that we came in.
So you're gonna make your way back up the ramp,
Yeah.
sort of like of the deck of the ship, to the other side, or to this side of the entranceway that you.
Yeah. To hopefully either blindside somebody or, yeah, at least offer.
Okay.
Yeah, at least offer some sort of sense of surprise.
Okay.
That isn't going to be running uphill through water.
Okay. Cool. If you want to make a just make a move roll for me to get to there before they get to you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do, Chris?
I did like the idea of hiding behind a table, so I'll just turn one over.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to do anything for that.
I'm going to push that roll.
Okay.
Nope.
Oof.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And that's one agility damage for those of you who can't or listening and not watching.
Yep. And Matt, I guess what side is going to be?
I mean, I'll probably help get some tables. You said we need like 2 tables, right?
Yeah, he's literally put up a table and stay behind it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll help, or we can each be behind a table or something, whatever.
That's fine.
That's literally all I'm just trying to get a table ready and hide behind it.
You do that. Dara runs off up the ramp to the to where the entranceway is. He gets about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way, and these 2 figures enter. They're covered in head to toe. You can't see any facial features. They've got those face masks on that you already had, and they're in this like very shiny kind of greeny, yellowy kind of armor. They've got covered from head to toe in, and they've got these visors over their face. They're both carrying scrap rifles, and they kind of like walk in with large sort of like boots and stuff. And as they walk in, you can hear a noise coming from the one in the front. Dara, you can see this as you kind of wondering. You're probably maybe a combat round to them. But you're now opening you've like run down the side of the glass and the sort of like leaves and stuff, and you're running towards them. You're like, you're in the open. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide.
I'll put my middle arms behind my back.
Right.
And put my hands in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got, hopefully I can look like I don't have 4 arms. That'd be useful. So yeah, I'm just going to and put on the biggest shit-eating grin I can find.
Mm-hmm. The one in the front says, "Stay there," as he kind of points his rifle towards you. The second one comes in behind him, and this one sort of like scans the whole area, pointing his rifle down towards all the junk and the 2 upright tables. Which, he kind of looks in that direction. And the person with the scrap rifle who told you to stay right there comes walking towards you and says, "Have you got any weapons?"
Beyond a club and a knife? Oh, nothing that you would need to worry about.
Where are the others?
The others? I'm down here making a den. This is, I mean, there's water all around. There's part of a roof. I need somewhere to sleep this evening. I'm not going to be caught out in the wilds. looks like you two had the same idea. I mean, if we get a campfire going somewhere, might dry some of this out.
They both look at each other. You can't see any face features. They've got like this grayed out kind of like visor. They look at each other, and the guy starts to he's getting closer to you, and he says, "On your knees."
Is that really necessary?
Oh, I think so, big man. He
Is
looks
that-
him down and goes, "I don't particularly want to be fighting with you."
Don't make me go on my knees. That's just. I don't intend to fight you.
Well, we should be fine then, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Take a step back. That'll make you feel safe, and then we can just talk.
He raises the scrap rifle to you. Doesn't like kind of aims it at you.
I'll
So
go down onto one knee.
Yeah. He says, take your stuff out.
What stuff?
Well, your weapons, anything else you've got on you.
Okay.
When I see Dara go down on one knee, I'm gonna
You're kind of
stand
like
up.
looking out the side. Yeah. You're gonna
I
stand
think
up.
Silas and I, at this point, desperately
With
wish
my-
that we had practiced shooting during the last week.
Yeah,
And
that-
I totally wish I hadn't buggered up my agility so much.
I'm gonna stand up with the gun, like, kind of pointed in their direction.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You stand up, and the guy who was sort of like distracted slightly managed to stand up and point the gun at him before he realizes what you're doing. And he goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And he basically is pointing the gun at you. And then obviously Gia stands up as well, and he's like moving the rifle between the two of you.
I'm gonna start walking towards him.
Okay. Okay, you start to walk towards him, and he goes, "Stay right there! Stay right there!"
I'll be staying behind the table still. I mean, sort of like peering out, but like in cover.
Mhm.
And yeah, also training my my scrap rifle on the guy who's aiming at us.
Yeah.
What's the other guy doing?
The other guy's kind of like looking at his friend, but he's kind of got the gun sort of raised towards you. And he's looking. You can see he's kind of like flicking his head ever so slightly between his friend and you.
I'm gonna try and hold the gun up sideways, like as I'm kind of doing just like this, so it catches when I'm walking through a bit where there's a shaft of light
Yep.
coming, so that it kind of catches the light. I'm gonna say, "You see this?" And then I'm gonna let it shine for a bit, and then I'm gonna point it back at them.
Mhm.
This.
You're gonna-
You ever heard of a laser? You know anything about the old time? This is an artifact, motherfucker. And if you don't drop your weapons, this thing will dissolve your body like it was never there. It'll turn it into dust. You ever seen a gun like this? I bet you fucking haven't.
Gonna make a reputation roll for me.
With pleasure. And I get a +1, right?
Yeah.
Come on. 2 successes. And it's empathy. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not.
Oh, come on, it's
I'm gonna
two.
push it. I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Does your snakiness do something
Okay,
for you
it
with
do any-
this?
My reptilian mutation does give me I can entrance a humanoid at near range, but I don't think I'm at near range just yet.
No, not just.
Oh.
But it only causes confusion, unless we get some sort of narrative thing with it too. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
but 2 successes.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So the guy's kind of like, you can see that he's sort of like very undecided what to do with you. You flash the gun. You've kind of like spoke with authority. You've kind of walking towards him. He hasn't shot you yet, which is a good sign.
That's a good sign.
But the other guy is kind of like What are you doing? What? At this point, Dara, he kind of like takes a step forward, and he goes to push the gun directly into your head.
He's gonna have to be quick because I was just waiting for any moment where I could grab the barrel and push up and stand.
With one of your arms that he can't see.
That he can't see, and also because I've been a half crouch, I can use that leverage of standing up quickly to surprise him.
Yep.
And more.
Well, go on.
Or
Then,
rather, the weight shift to push him off balance.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Why don't you make a fight roll?
Oh, God.
So this is a grapple, right?
It's a grapple, yeah.
Yeah. There's something here.
Yeah, so, I mean, this kind of makes sense narratively, just from a rules perspective for, again, because this channel is kind of about teaching the rules of the game.
Yeah.
In Mutant Year Zero, it's different to, like, for, I think, most of the other games, in that grappling, if you're in the middle of a fight already, you can only grapple as a stunt in a fight, in a close combat fight roll. So you need to be fighting anyway, and you have to get, like, at least two successes.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Okay. So, right. Oh, good lord.
Oh, that's a lot of dice
Oh,
too.
damn.
Ouch. Do you want to push that?
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm going to get shot in the head.
Well, you got one success.
What's wrong with the dice today?
I mean, you're racking up the mutation points. So that's at least a good.
Yeah.
There's yeah.
I'm up to 8 now. I can be hopping
Wow.
all over this place.
I've got 7.
Yeah, so you basically push yourself in a half crouch, push up. He doesn't see your other arms, which you've had behind your back, and you manage to grab the barrel of the gun just enough to kind of move it away from your head, but you don't get a chance to actually grapple him properly.
No.
But it's enough to kind of like defend against the gun itself. But that's fine. I guess we're just going to go down the thing. So, Silas, what do you want to do?
How far am I?
You're kind of close range, not quite near, but you know.
So we've got arm's length, near, and short, and then it
So,
goes long and distant. So probably
probably
short.
short. Yeah, you're about to probably cross over from short to near.
Okay. When I see the like the one guy putting his like gun towards Dara's head, and then Dara grabbing it, I'm gonna shift my gun to him and say,
Right.
"You want to be the first one to die, do you?" Well, I'm keep moving towards them.
Okay.
Drop your weapons. We don't want to hurt you. We can talk this through.
Okay. Gia.
I make a show of keeping Silas covered.
Okay, that's fine. At which point, a gun goes off, and a shot is fired. Dara, you feel the heat of the barrel very briefly heat up as a round comes out of it. Not enough to kind of hurt you, but it's like, okay, he's just shot a gun. So the guy that was pointing the gun at you has fired. And he has let go of the gun. And much to your surprise, he decides to grab you, or tries to grab you.
Whoa.
But again, much like you, he can't quite get a purchase, and he kind of pushes you, but doesn't really seem to effectively do much with you. What would you like to do?
It's me.
Yeah, Dara.
I'm going to spend a mutation point and I'm going to clobber him.
Okay.
Yes.
You get an extra attack.
Fight. My unarmed skill also does like 2 damage.
Yep. Okay.
That's 2 successes. That's pretty good.
So you get 3 successes. So
Oh, 3
or
successes.
2? Okay. So you get to do an extra damage there, I think. Nice.
That's down to 2 mutation points. Yeah, there's something about the combat veteran thing. Sorry. Sucker punch. The weapon of damage of my unarmed attack is 2 instead of 1. Yeah.
As 1. So you're actually doing 3 damage to this guy.
Yeah, great.
And you give him a good old wallop with your first attack. When you wallop him in the side, you feel like he's packing some armor underneath this green and yellow looking suit that he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And you smack him in the side and he kind of makes a oof noise. You also get to attack him again from your roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can punch him in the visor. or elbow and like punch in and then elbow around the visor.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yep. I assume you don't want to push that.
No. That's, I don't know what happens if I push a success.
Well, you keep the success. You push all the other dice that aren't showing anything. But if you get any more 1s, you're hurting your strength.
Yeah.
Which is what he's going to be attacking, which you're going to be attacked with in combat, and that's how you get critical injuries and stuff.
Yeah. Nah.
So I wouldn't. You're doing
punch
damage.
him
So.
square in the face, and you push the tubey respirating bit inwards into the actual mask, and he just falls backwards. Nice.
I've still got a gun.
And you've still got a gun in the hand.
Oh yeah, because you're holding it. That's one way to disarm someone.
It's confusing. Matt, we'll come around to you. Silas, what's Silas doing?
I'm still just walking. I'm being as confident as I can make myself right now. Convinced that Dara is gonna do what he just did.
Okay.
Right. I'm trying to help Dara out so Dara can do his thing, right? But maybe I can defuse the situation. Probably not now. And then I'll just basically just turn the gun back to the other guy and say, "You're outnumbered. Drop your gun."
Sweet.
Okay. What's Gia doing?
I'm still, sort of waving my gun at him. Do what he says.
Okay.
From behind the table.
Okay, cool. Unfortunately, the idiot that you're waving your gun at is going to shoot you.
Me.
Oops.
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
Silas.
all right. Mm-hmm. How close am I now?
You've just got into near range.
Oh
my god.
No.
All right. Good. Hey. This is. I mean, I was risking it. It's fine.
Got any armor?
Oh no. And I've
Wait. Oh, hang on. Paul's just thrown a curveball.
He's using his bodyguard.
He is near you. You can dive in to take the bullet. Roll to move.
Yeah, I'll take a side step in between without.
Okay. So roll for your move.
Just move, isn't it?
Hey.
Success. You throw yourself in the in the way and take the hit instead. You got any armor, Dara?
Do I? I don't think so. No.
Okay. Take 3 strength damage.
Oh, puts me at -1 there.
Oh no!
So if you look at the bottom of your foundry screen, there's that hot bar. You see the hot bar? I've put it in everybody's thing. On the far right, there's 2 bones that are crossed. It says critical injury. If you click on that, it'll automatically roll a critical injury for your character.
Okay.
You want to roll it?
Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay.
Crushed face.
You got shot in the face.
If you click on it, it's a lethal one as well. This is not a good one.
Oh no!
You've been shot in the face.
You just got shot in the face.
Crushed face. No.
Roll me a d6, please.
Oh my god.
Roll.
God damn it.
All that after you're hung
hang
in
on,
by
sorry.
the skin of your teeth last session.
Just
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a 1. That's
a
that's
1,
not
so
good.
you got 1 hour, and you'll be dead. Okay.
And that you got 1 hour for you have 1 hour that we have to heal you in, otherwise you're gonna die. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good thing that it's a good thing that one of us is an expert healer, right?
Dara
I've
throws
totally got
himself
4 dice for heal.
in the way, and he literally is like at point blank range, and he fires the rifle, and it hits Dara square in the face.
Okay.
And Dara hits the floor.
Okay.
Not moving. Right.
I'm going to use my mutation, my reptilian mutation, where I can look in somebody's. Let me just hit it so it goes into chat there.
You have to see their eyes.
Oh crap! No.
That's true. Okay, then I'm gonna say
No.
no. Okay, go
They
on.
just have to see yours.
They need to see yours. That's fine.
Okay. So
how many mutation
I'm
points?
sitting on 7 mutation points. I'm assuming this guy's wits, which is what's gonna be damaged, aren't super high. So
No. You can use 2 mutation points.
okay, I'm gonna spend then 2 mutation points to knock his confusion down to 0.
Yep. Okay. He's just staring at you. Looking into your eyes.
Drop your gun. Take off your helmet.
Okay. He drops the gun. And he
Take
kind
up.
of
Yeah.
unclips a couple of things, pulls off this shh noise, and he pulls off his helmet. He basically pulls the thing off and drops it to the side. He's wearing like a sort of like skull cap type thing, and he's got sort of like a craggy beard, and he's got sort of like some tattoos on his face.
Does he look like
and his suit-
any mutation that I could tell that he's got, like I've seen before? Like a physical mutation that it would be obvious? Like stony skin or
no.
scales or anything like that?
No, he doesn't have
Assuming
any of
he's a
that.
mutant, of course, which is...
He doesn't have any of that, but you
Okay.
recognize the tattoos on the face. The people that drove you out of your last arc all had tattoos on their face.
These are the motorcycle people?
These are the hell drivers that pushed you out from the vehicles and the motorcycles that they were driving.
You! Oh, God. Alright. I'm still like approaching him, so as soon as I get close enough to him, I'm gonna pick up his rifle. And I'm gonna say, still kind of like making eye contact with him, I'm gonna say, go over to the side there, lie down and go to sleep.
Okay.
I don't know if he does it or not, but that's what I'm telling him. I mean, technically, I've reduced his I've made him confused.
So his wits are down to 0, so he's confused.
It's not really necessarily like mind control.
It's not mind control.
Because that's a separate mutation called puppeteer.
So he's just kind of like staring at you. He's kind of like taking the thing off because that's just like a simple thing to do. He hasn't kind of like done anything to kind of put himself into any other further danger other than that. And he's just kind of staring at you. He's not really doing anything else.
Yeah, so it says here with in the book under trauma for confusion, it says lack of clarity, bewilderment, and misjudgment. Yeah. So that's what I've got to kind of work with. Okay.
Yeah, he's just kind of like confused. He's kind of like looking at you. He's not really following any actual other orders than what you're doing. As long as you've got your eye contact with him.
Yeah, I'm keeping eye contact with him, and I'm gonna kind of shout, Gia.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna need your help.
Yeah, I'll come out from behind the table. I'll make my way up to Silas.
And I'm just wondering.
Way up to Silas.
I'm just wondering what Dara would do here.
Well, you don't look down at Dara, but Gia, you look down at Dara.
I did see him get shot in the face, though.
You did, but what you can see, Gia, is you can see there's this stream of blood pouring from Dara's face. Obviously, the boat's at an angle, and it's like streaming past Silas's feet, falling around the feet, and kind of like making all its way down to the water. And it's just kind of like pouring out.
Gia, tell me how bad it is. I have to keep looking at this guy.
It's bad. He's bleeding.
Is he alive?
His face, I guess so.
Can you check?
His face looks horrible, and all the blood.
You think that's some of Dara's teeth that are on the floor?
So at this point, I'm like, I want to be
I put a hand on his neck and feel for the pulse.
You feel the strong sort of pulse. Actually, that could just be the pulse of the blood coming out of his neck into his face and coming out onto the deck.
Well, his heart's beating, but his face, oh God, his face.
Oh, fuck this. I'm right up to the guy. There's something I've always done in my games as a little house rule in the coup de grace rules from Forbidden Lands in, because it works. Should we do the same?
If you put a gun to his face and pull the trigger,
I've got to fail an empathy.
He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, but the coup de grace rules from Forbidden Lands require me to fail a empathy test.
Yes, I like that.
So it's kind of like it's not necessarily that easy to do.
Yeah, I like that. Do that.
Which I've always found a very elegant little rule.
Yeah, it's quite a nice way of doing it.
Thankfully, I think they've already suffered a little bit of empathy damage.
He's possibly killed your friend.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll that, and I don't want a success. I got 2 successes. Damn it!
No, damn it!
So I put the gun to his head, like.
Yep.
Like, all right, you shot my friend. He's probably about to die because he's still alive, and I just can't do it. I just can't do it. There's something holding me back. Like it. Actually, I was able to kill this other.
Yeah.
You
kind of hear Dara saying, "Do you really want to do violence?"
I've got that in the back of my head. Like, don't be like that. That talk he gave me.
That's my job.
Be better. Be
job,
better.
Not your job. Yeah.
And I just can't do it. I'm like, oh, god damn it. Can I like club him, like smack him in the head?
Yeah, that's fine. You can smack him and he'll go unconscious. That's not
okay. All right, so I'll do that instead.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll turn and see. I mean, okay, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, you turn around and you look down and you see Dara not looking particularly good.
So how does that work about the healing?
Right, so he's taken a critical injury, and it's a fatal injury. So he needs to make a roll to heal him from his trauma, or to sort of like.
We have to stabilize
him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think in this one, I'm just gonna check it because I think in this one, if you fail the roll on a critical, then you kill the patient.
Kill them.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that
Let me just check that because it's pretty fucking
was on the
brutal.
books.
Critical injuries, healing,
Healing.
care. If someone rolls to heal you during the process of healing a critical injury, the remaining healing time is reduced by half. Any roll to save your life, which is above, does not count. Where's that one? Okay. If your critical injury is listed as lethal, which it is, someone must make a successful heal roll to save you. Otherwise, you die when the time period indicated has passed.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't actually say.
So that's good. So if you fail, you just fail to.
And it says each person trying to heal you can only roll once. So we can actually both of us each roll individually.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Once you've both made your roll, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And we're not going to get back in an hour. Or like 50 minutes or whatever it is now.
I mean, what with all the agility I've still got left, we're totally going to clear that, in a quarter of the time.
You've got one agility, right?
Yes.
All right, so do you want to go first? Or,
Sure.
I just looked. We both are rolling 3 empathy and 1. We both have 1 point in heal.
Yeah.
So it could be worse. But, we can push this roll too. Do you want to go first?
I mean, what with my agility being what it is now, I mean, that's actually sort of the best role I have at this point.
And it makes sense because you're standing over him as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. A success.
Whew.
So that will stabilize him.
That means it's not lethal anymore.
It's not lethal anymore.
And I think technically, Paul, you've got to roll 4d6, which is the healing time.
Okay.
Although I'm technically not quite sure what I will do with a bashed-in face, honestly.
Pretty much what you do is you basically pad whatever you can with as much
gauze, like cloth.
Well, I take it neither of you've got any medical kits.
Mud.
So yeah, pretty much.
Oh, the foam from the box.
Yeah, that would work.
So that is
10, 14, 15, 16, 17.
It was also nice and
no
clean
13.
in there.
13.
13 days. Sorry.
Yeah, 13 days to heal. After you've done that, then again, this is so the healing thing.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. There's 2 things we can do here. So one is to try and get Dara to get some strength back so he can get onto his feet, which we need because we can't carry him out. Yeah.
Well, should we do like Dara pretended and actually spend the night here?
So yeah, what you'd have to do is you'd have to actually eat some grub, have some water, have some rest, and then actually technically your strength would come back, but you'd still have the critical injury. So
So
you pack him up as much as possible, stop the bleeding. He's going to have a really nasty scar. He's not going to win any beauty contests anytime soon, which kind of is why he gets -2 to his manipulation, I believe. Yeah, so he'll lose his manipulation, so he can't manipulate people.
Unless you significantly invest in manipulation.
Yeah. So that's fine. Okay.
Surely my intimidate would go up.
Probably, actually. I like that idea. So yes, you kind of you basically use as much of the other guy's clothes as possible to pack poor old Dara's face. Stick his face in a makeshift bandage, and then you're going to have to, I think it's about an hour or so, and then you can come round, and then you can kind of leave. But what I will ask all of you to do in the meantime is to make a roll.
Add a rot and then make a roll.
Add a rot and make a roll, please.
Oof.
Just to clarify, Gia should have 1 more than us because she got some from going in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's base 3.
Oh my god.
Hang on.
You're taking 2 strength damage then.
Oh.
Yeah, you take 2 strength damage.
But why? But why?
Dara, on the other hand, unfortunately.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So that takes 1 strength damage.
But he's broken already.
He's broken already. So you take non-typical damage as a critical. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
That's fine. That's
What-
fine. Don't worry about it. It's another crit. You're taking another critical
That's fine.
entry.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
That's okay. It's no problem. Oh my god. So separate critical. You're incapacitated until you die or you're healed. I'm
not walking out of here, guys.
You're not walking anywhere. Yeah.
I mean, I can try and heal him because I haven't
You
tried
can try
yet.
and hit him. That's absolutely fine.
So let me do that then.
Okay. You want multiple successes, really?
Yeah.
No pressure.
There's 2.
Like that.
Hell yeah.
And I won't
Okay,
push it
cool.
because I might need to do more healing later.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's not a problem. You managed to eventually get him round enough to be able to kind of like each grab an arm and make your way out of here. You figure that if you stay here any longer, the rot is going to keep creeping in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty much what you do. You pick up Dara and you make your way out of the boat.
Yeah.
Can we hole up in one of those houses on the lake?
We want to.
Actually.
So, the suits that these guys were wearing,
Yep.
I kind of want one.
Okay.
Or like look at one closer.
Hmm.
I've knocked, and the one from the guy that I knocked out is basically not damaged, whereas the one the Dara's like smashed the other, like the visor of the other one.
Yep.
So, is there a way that like I can quickly take the guy
That's
out
fine.
of his?
Yeah. You can take stuff out of him. When you actually take him out of his suit, he's actually wearing body armor underneath.
Oh crap.
Can I take that off?
You could take the body armor underneath as well if you want the body armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the body armor on,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna put on the yellow suit as well.
Yep. Okay, that's fine.
And I'm gonna be way overloaded, which is not good.
Yep.
Well, yeah, you let
So
me
this is
carry
the
that box,
the rot suit, right?
This
I'm
is indeed
assuming
rot
from the
suit.
book. Yeah. So let me just do that very quickly. Scrap armor, right? We said body
Scrap
armor.
Yep. Should give you
Drag
rating
that
3.
over. Yep. Oh, that doesn't encumbrance me at all, which is interesting. And rot suit. I don't see it there. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Does it? Do you have it like in front of you? Is it an artifact?
Yes, not fact.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, protective suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
I see it. Yeah, I'll add it in later.
Cool. It gives you protection rating of 6 against the rod.
Wow.
You have to have the full suit and the mask and everything.
Okay. And is armor not encumbrance? Because I added the scrap armor and it didn't encumbrance me at all. Is it because it's being worn?
I think it's because I think it's because I think you can wear stuff and it's fine. Because clothing doesn't count. I think in Mutant Zero, I think they count it as clothing, so it's just,
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Cool.
I think if you're like carrying it, I think it counts as a large item.
Okay. Can I? I'm gonna quickly, just before we wrap up this session because we need
Yep.
to. Can I quickly
I was
just
thinking.
roll? Bearing in mind that it's an artifact, roll comprehend to see how much I can figure out about it.
Yep, sure.
Which is my gadgeteer talent. Okay, 2 successes.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll basically say to Gia, this will help against the rot. This is an artifact too. We should take the one off the other guy too.
I grumble a bit, and then I start, stripping the dude.
That's fine. The other guy also has scrap armor, except it's taken 2 lots of damage out of its 3, thanks to Dara's hefty punch into his side. It's actually, some of the plates are actually broken, but Dara's kind of like punched it in the side. But you could repair it technically. So you can take the scrap armor and you can actually take the rot suit. The only problem with the rot suit is the helmet isn't working properly.
If we can see if somebody can fix that, maybe.
But when you do actually take the helmet off, it's kind of embedded itself into his jaw. Where Dara's kind of like cracked it into him. Yeah, you managed to do that. You'll have to like wash out the face mask, but yeah, apart from that, and do a bit of a fix. Yeah, you technically have 2 rot suits and 2 lots of armor and 2 scrap guns.
Oh, the scrap rifles, right?
2 scrap rifles and 6 rounds of ammo for both.
6 bullets.
6 bullets, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Wrong game.
Okay.
Sweet.
And then you both take Dara off the boat to a place of relative safety, walking him as far away as you can from this area. And I think that seems like a good place to end it.
Well,
Yeah. Awesome. So let's talk a few things before we just finish.
Sure.
XP is one of them, of course.
Yep.
And I would say that Paul should get an extra one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because I
Clearly,
think
Wells, did you risk your life?
Absolutely, yes, 100%. I think definitely for that one. So yes.
But you've also learned a lesson.
No.
Yeah,
I don't learn that easily.
You know, at one point for being here, you did perform a day's work from Project for the Ark, so you get a point there. Did you explore at least one new sector? Yes, you did. You get a point there. So that's 3 so far. Did you sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? I think you did, Paul.
Yep.
In fact, I didn't do this to you last time, but did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe? I'm going to give you 1 point for that, Matt, from the previous session, actually. Because
For Zippo. Yeah, Zippo's my...
did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate? Not quite yet.
Not me, anyway.
And did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream?
I mean, there's an argument every time I go out into the zone that I'm trying to get mine, which is I'm trying to. My big dream is to usher in a new age of culture and learning with our arc at the hub. So it's all about finding artifacts and like building up the culture. But I feel kind of like I'm milking XP by saying that. I don't know.
I would say once you start building up the culture, absolutely. So
Yeah.
if you bring one in, they can turn it into a culture to add to your development levels. Then absolutely, you can have a point.
Cool. So it sounds like 3 points for Chris and 4 for Paul and I.
Yes.
Is that right? All right. Cool.
Yeah.
And should we say we found 6 bullets, Chris, that you take 3 and I take 3?
Sure.
Just to pocket them for now.
Dara, bullet to the face, huh? Oh.
Hey, it's a scar that you can talk about, right?
Yeah.
See, you kind of play these games. You think, oh, they're all of a sudden free league games become very, very deadly.
Yeah, they do. And I think, Chris, you're gonna have to carry both of the scrap rifles because I've just been looking at the encumbrance and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't got anything left, and you can carry 2 more. And those are actually the scrap rifles, and the scrap armor is under the items, so you can just drag them in.
Okay. Let's see then.
But the rot suit you'll have to add manually.
Nice.
Cool. All right, so we'll do all that in the background, but we'll stop the video here. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Ed for running the game.
Thanks,
That was
Ed.
fun. Paul once again. Paul's character has once again been put into mortal peril.
I see a theme here.
Every time.
There was the fight with the pig keeper. Then there was the missile,
rocket.
the missile in the silo.
The robot and the
robot as well. And I think
Yeah.
every single time it's protecting Silas.
Yeah.
Or he's involved. Yeah.
Well, that worked.
Yep. So, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'd love to hear your comments from what you thought of the session. Just drop them in the comments below for this video. And thanks very much for watching. And catch us next time. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for this channel. That really does help this channel to be found and to grow. And that's it for us. So catch you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.